So this being the most interactive MMA channel on YouTube, why don't you go ahead and put down in the comments if you have ever seen a conspiracy that I did not like. You know, like I'm into conspiracy. I like thinking about conspiracies, and I've got a really good one for you for the UFC community today, because I just realized that there was a sequence of events that led to a situation that we are in right now that is the most favorable outcome the UFC could have ever imagined for the most profitable fight that the UFC could possibly set up. Okay? Now, if someone wants to get nitpicky on that last statement, the most profitable fight they could possibly set up, you could do that. However, I think when I lay this out and then I propose that maybe there's a work somewhere in here, you know, feel free. I'm not saying this is for sure. I'm not saying it's for sure. However, what I am saying for sure is that there is a setup here that I have not heard anyone talk about for some reason that is crazy. I don't like it's actually crazy that I have to think of all this stuff. Why do I always have to think of this stuff, dude? Why are other people not talking about this? This is like the most obvious thing ever. How am I the person that has to think about this? Okay? Now, as I am the one thinking about this stuff on the channel, you guys, my community, are the ones who make me think of this stuff, because I got this from a comment too, dude. That's the truth. I got this topic from a comment. Someone said something in the comments and I was like, so now I didn't think of it. So if you want to join the community with the smartest people in the comment section, go ahead and comment and go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and you can be one of us too, dude. Because this is going to blow your mind when I say it. Now, the other thing too is I have already found a way to potentially debunk this, maybe, but we'll go over that also, okay? So let's jump right into it. And fair warning, actually there's no warning. Okay, so let's jump into this thing. Here it is, okay? So if you're the UFC, what is your number one priority each year? Okay, like going into the year, you have one major problem to solve. What is it? What's the very first thing that you need to figure out? I mean, you know, outside, like I'm talking about like in terms of like matchmaking and stuff. Who's Conor going to fight, right? Like who's Conor going to fight? And how can we make sure that that is maximum value? Because like we've talked about in a lot of recent videos, Conor fighting is equivalent to like 3 or 4, right? Like 3 or 4 like normal, and not even normal, like big, like a, you know, 500,000 pay-per-view buys apparently is pretty good now since, you know, 276 did 400. Conor could do 3 times that, right? So if it does 400, Conor could do 1.6 on a big night, right? So you have to solve for that. Now, Conor in every single fight is being set up for a blockbuster if the fight itself is not a blockbuster itself. Okay, so you go back to the Khabib fight. That is a blockbuster, obviously. The fight before that is a blockbuster because Conor's going for 2 belts, okay? Then you have some time off, and they gave him a tune-up fight, Cowboy, right? He beats Cowboy. Then they give him Dustin. Now, Dustin, they thought was the same as giving him Cowboy. They thought Conor was going to walk through Dustin. We already know what happened. It got derailed, okay? So now, what do you do with Conor? Now, we've talked about this ad nauseum, right? This is an ad nauseum topic. Everyone has talked about this a million times. Is he going to go fight Kamaru? Is he going to go fight this guy? Is he going to go fight this guy? We've literally entertained like every single possible scenario. And what I realized, thanks to someone in my comment section, is that Conor, like what's the best case scenario for the UFC right now? Okay, like what's the best case scenario? The best case scenario is for Conor to challenge for the belt. And the best case scenario is for Conor to win in the fight where he challenged for the belt, okay? Now, Conor has lost 3 straight fights at 155. Can he challenge for the belt? Really? Like, can he actually really challenge for the belt? I mean, we've talked about this a bunch. Everyone's like, no, it doesn't matter. He's such a big draw. I've said this on my own channel. Of course he can challenge for the title. Because he's such a huge draw, we don't even have to pretend to play the games anymore, okay? So who's the champion at 55 right now? Who's the champion at 155? Well, Charles is. Right. Yep, Charles is. Is he, though? Is Charles a champion? Well, technically, no. Right, technically, no, he's not. And why is he not the champion? Well, he missed weight by half a pound. Yeah. You want to know who has some inside information on that? Me. Okay? Me. Okay? So, when people weigh in for their fight, here is the actual process, okay? If you happen to ever find yourself at Fighter Hotel, you might stumble on something like this yourself. This was let me just make this clear. This was dumb luck that I ended up in this situation, okay? It wasn't dumb luck that we ended up at Fighter Hotel, but Gabrielle and I were staying at Fighter Hotel for 274, okay? We get there on Friday. We get into the elevator. It's right after the news broke that Charles missed weight, right? He missed weight by a half a pound. We get into the elevator, we go up. We stop on the second floor to pick someone up, okay? Now, anybody in the UFC or anyone who's at 274 will know that I'm obviously not making this up, because how else would I know that the second floor is where all this stuff was happening? So he stops on the second floor. A UFC, employee comes in. He's got like all the gear, UFC, everything. And I'm like, dude, Charles missed weight? And he goes, man. And I've told this on the channel before. He said, he was like, there's something super fishy going on. He's like, the guy, his team, because the guy who got into the elevator is the guy who hung out with Charles in between when he weighed in up half a pound and when he weighed in again, still up half a pound after, I think it's an hour, where he had an hour to knock off half a pound and he was unable to do it, okay? And so he looked at us just like, now, I will promise you, this guy had no idea that I have a channel. He had no idea who I was, right? I mean, not that that's surprising, but he didn't know that I had a YouTube channel where I could say a thing like that and get, 50,000 views on it. So he just is talking. He's all, dude, I don't know, man. Shady. Now, UFC could strap me to a chair, strap me to electrodes and be like, is that the guy that said it to you? And I would never rat him out, just because I don't rat on people. But this did happen, and Gabrielle can verify that. And he said, it's shady. There's something wrong. Something wrong is going on here. But the outcome is Charles misses weight, and the fight against Justin Gaethje is Gaethje can either win the belt or Charles does not, okay? Now, here's the deal. Charles wins. He doesn't have the belt. So when we're talking about Conor coming back and fighting, everyone thinks that him fighting Charles is a title shot. Is it a title shot? If Conor fights against Charles Oliveira, is it automatically a title shot? Yes or no? Nope, it's not. It's not. Look at that, it's not. And so what's the actual situation at 155 right now? Okay, you have no champion. You have no guarantee that Charles Oliveira is fighting for the belt next. Now, everyone assumes that he's fighting for the belt next because everyone assumes that everyone is just assuming that he's the champion. Everyone's just like, yeah, Charles is the champion. It's like, yeah, but is he? Is he actually the champion? Because he's not. He's not. Michael Chandler just pointed this out when he said, how about him and Islam Makhachev fight separately and the winner fights the winner of Conor and Charles? Excellent idea. That's an excellent idea. And you want to know why you absolutely 100% have to do that? Is because if you do that, you do it for the vacant belt. You got Islam, you have Michael Chandler. You have them fight for the vacant belt. You can call it an interim if you want. You don't have to call it an interim belt because there is no champion. You can have Islam Makhachev fight against Michael Chandler for the belt because Charles has decided he wants a super fight against Conor. You give him his champion's contract so he gets back end. You incentivize him to take the Conor fight. And now what you have is, if Makhachev, let me back up. If Conor beats Charles, big uphill battle there, obviously. If Conor beats Charles, what you have in that outcome is Conor McGregor going into a title fight with either Khabib's brother or Michael Chandler as the champion. Okay? If Conor beats Charles after they fight, he is going in against Michael Chandler with the belt, bonanza super fight, or Islam Makhachev, which is basically Conor versus Khabib part 2. Okay? You tell me what's a bigger fight than one of those two. And in addition to that, you get Conor versus Charles, which is an absolute barn burner where it looks like a title shot, but it's not even a title shot. You're not even giving Conor a title shot because Charles doesn't have the belt. And thus, is it possible that they rigged? Is it possible that they worked the the weigh-in to where now they knew Charles wouldn't have the belt? Now, you still have to factor in that if Gaethje would have won, which plenty of people were picking Gaethje to win, then none of this plays out. So do I actually think it's a conspiracy? No. But I made you listen to the whole thing because I said maybe it was a conspiracy. And I said I wanted your opinion. And I do. I do want your, because who knows? Maybe it is, dude. I'm saying that as I talk this through, I do my best thinking while I'm talking. I talk myself out of it being a work. Because I also realized there were some other people that were a half pound over and people basically, whatever. So in all honesty, it's probably not a work. However, if you look at the actual chessboard, if you don't do this, you are out of your fucking mind. Out of your mind. Blockbuster over here. Michael Chandler fighting for the belt over here. Okay, you got Khabib and Khabib and Islam, what the fuck? Khabib and Michael Chandler fighting for the belt over here. I realize Islam Makhachev's actually fighting. I understand. But that's what's over here. And you have Conor versus Charles over here. Blockbuster, 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 blockbuster. If you put them on the same card, it'll sell 1 billion pay-per-views. There's no reason to do that, though, because you'll sell more separately. And then if Conor wins, okay, and if Charles wins, I mean, Charles will obviously be the favorite. And if Charles wins, you got Charles, after beating Conor, his profile will go through the roof, versus either Khabib Part 2 or Michael Chandler after beating Islam Makhachev. If they don't do this, they are out of their mind. Everyone involved, every single person involved is out of their mind if they don't do that. Except maybe Islam Makhachev, if he could get a title shot. No, it doesn't matter. He's fighting for the belt over there. Every single person's out of their mind if they don't do this. And that, as they say, is why a person with absolutely no profile whatsoever can go from 0 to whatever you would consider my channel at this moment, 2 years later. Is because I can think like them. I could just think like them. That's all it is. I could think like them. And then I could tell you guys, hey, this is what they're probably thinking. And everyone thinks about it. They're like, Jesus, that's fucking common sense. It's like, I know. And we all get to celebrate together this fucking common sense no-brainer thing that they have to do, right? Like they have to do this. They have to do this. They fucking have to do this. They have to do it. They have to do it. And with that, let me tell you something else, okay? Let me tell you one other thing. If you have never bought sheath underwear, today is your day, because we are about to run. So I haven't even told everybody this. I told most people, but the Jordans from last month, we picked 4 winners, and we are going to do a live quiz show finals for those guys, where 4 of them are going to join me live. I might even do that shit tomorrow night, actually. We might do it tomorrow night. So we're going to have them live on the show. They're going to compete in MMA trivia for the Jordans, and we're going to pick a winner, and they're going to get the Jordans, and they're going to be sick-ass Jordans, son. The other thing is that next month, we're going to do the same thing. If you want to be entered into that, you can buy a pair of sheath underwear, which are the bomb. They separate your balls and your shaft from your legs. It's really hot, dude. You buy them, shaft goes here, balls go here, little pouches for both. It's super comfortable. Sheath underwear is the bomb. You go sheathunderwear.com, and then you use the promo code FIRE20. You send me the receipt. You not only get the best underwear in the game, you also get to enter into the game to win the Jordans next month, okay? Now, we're going to do the quiz show probably this week. I'm trying to put it, I'm so slammed, it's unbelievable. That's the only reason we haven't done it yet, but the winners know who they are, and we're going to move forward and do that quiz show. And then you can compete to be in next month's quiz show. And for each pair, you get an entry. So if you buy 5 pairs, you get 5 entries, and then so on and so forth. You can be live on the channel next month, yada, yada. So again, sheathunderwear.com, use promo code FIRE20, send me the receipt, enter it into the raffle for the following month. I will pick 4 or 5. I might even do 5 winners next month, dude. I might even do 6 winners, son. I don't know. But I'm going to do a bunch of people, and you get to come on the show live, compete for the Jordans. The winner's going to get the Jordans, and they'll be famous, son. Be internet famous. Anyway, so that is what I got. I love you guys, and subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Peace in the Middle East.